Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional resource, Tim Stearns, CFP, founder of TJ Stearns, Inc., with offices across the country, Florida, Arizona, Missouri. Tim, you're all over the place doing classes on a regular basis, but based right here in Chicagoland, office conveniently located in Arlington Heights, and the resource for so many proactive planners in and around the Chicagoland area.
Yes, sir. We're here to help. Today what we want to talk about is some core issues that we're going to address. The 6 core issues that I think people who are looking for retirement, they need to figure out some things that are very important. I think last year taught us a lot that not everyone really had a good handle on where their money was, who was handling their money, what their plan was. I know over 70% of baby boomers really are looking for a plan. They're not looking for just a money manager. They're not looking for just a Social Security expert. They're looking for a holistic planning. And that's what we do here. We do, soup to nuts, as they say. We have an estate attorney. We have a CPA. Obviously I'm a certified financial planner professional. So let's dive right into it. The core issues that a plan should help address.
And I know that your Protect and Grow plan, the written plan that you help proactive planners, savers, and investors in and around Chicagoland put together and have in their hands, in writing, that plan to provide financial confidence does address each of these 6 core issues. And below each one of these high-level issues are many subsets of issues that are discussed and addressed, but every plan must address these 6 core issues that we will cover on today's program, ladies and gentlemen. And if you would like to get your plan put together to review or double-check your current investment allocation, your risk exposure, your retirement accounts, pick up the phone, give TJ Stearns and Tim Stearns CFP a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, or online, tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com, a great place to get started there as well. But Tim, it is important, and many plans actually ignore several of these areas specifically. So overview for us, why is each one and what are these 6 areas that must be addressed? Why is each one so critical?
Well, let's start out with number 1, who is my advisor? Number 2, how I'm going to receive my income in retirement, where I'm going to get it from. Number 3, what are really in my investments? Number 4, the worst one is, what are my taxes? Your largest bill in retirement will be your taxes, correct? Next one, the second biggest bill in your retirement will be healthcare. And lastly, number 6, what is your legacy? What does that look like, estate planning wise? So we're going to cover all these and more today. So let's launch into the first one. Who is my advisor? When I look at the advisors out there, we see a lot of money managers, but not really doing any financial planning for those people. I see people on the other end of the spectrum who are Social Security and Medicare only. What we try to do is we are full financial planning. I'm a certified financial planner practitioner. So this is all I do is help people try to get through an ideal retirement. So we have all of our training. We're certified financial educators as well for those college classes that we teach. Again, those can be via Zoom. They can be in person. We're all over the Chicagoland area, but we can also do Zooms. But I've done this for 29 years. My philosophy is I don't have a minimum as far as I want to have a minimum of helping nice people. Those are the people I want to work with and get to the finish line. I think that's what we do really well here.
That being said, of course, Tim, there are certain strategies that are going to work best for those who have been avid savers, who have been investing and doing all of the things to prepare and get in as good a shape as possible. But I do always appreciate the educational kind of heart of a teacher approach that you take here on the program and talking about what needs to be done, about how we can work to achieve it. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would like some help and assistance in your planning, pick up the phone and give a call to TJ Stearns Stearns Inc., Tim Stearns CFP, there to assist in helping you put that plan together. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, you did mention that there is a difference between an investment manager and a real planner. What are some of those core differences and distinctions in your mind?
Well, an investment manager, is someone who's going to be managing money. And I know that sounds really at an elementary level, but that person, is not going to help you get through a decumulation in retirement. We are taught throughout our whole lives by our parents or anyone that you listen to that we need to accumulate, and we're doing a good job of that, right? But how do you decumulate safely? A money manager is not going to be able to tell you that. Right? What is the safe withdrawal rate? We talk about this in class, and we've talked about this. The last report that we saw come out is saying 1.9% that you can take from your portfolio without running out of money. And I'll tell you what experiences have shaped the way that we approach money and planning is easy come, easy go. And what do I mean by that? We had a 13-year bull market. You had all these do-it-yourselfers out there thinking that they were smarter than the average bear. And that's fantastic. But last year taught a lot of people a valuable lesson that they have to take less risk. I was around for 2008. That was horrific what happened in the markets. And I just know that if I was a baby boomer back then, that should resonate, that I don't want to see that happen again to my portfolio. So my experiences with that have said, slow and steady wins the race. We're not trying to, do something crazy over here, but we are trying to get you through a 30+ year retirement. And that comes to my next point, which is income. How are you going to, I quit today and, where is my next paycheck coming next week?
Mm-hmm. Retirement doesn't mean that we don't need a paycheck. It means we don't have one, right, Tim?
Right. And you're decumulating. And more importantly, you're a net seller of assets, right? The only growth you're going to see is by the stock market. You're not adding any money to your 401k. So what we're talking to people about is being a little bit smarter with your money, looking at how you can get some steady income that rises, with inflation, which, still inflation's around 5%. So this resonates with people that things cost a lot more than they did a year ago. And so we're trying to teach people having an income allocation plan is half the battle to get to the finish line.
Well, again, we are just a few steps in here to these 6 core issues that must be addressed in every plan, but knowing your philosophies and perspective and background, credentials of the source of financial advice and guidance, certainly important. Tim Stearns is a certified financial planning professional. Tim Stearns CFP, Chicagoland area resource for proactive savers and investors looking to plan, make that transition into and through retirement with confidence. And that's what the Protect and Grow plan is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Pick up the phone and give a call if you would like to have the assistance of a certified financial planning professional. Tim Stearns CFP makes an offer, no cost, no obligation, to help you get that plan structured and put together, or even just review and evaluate the current plan, to troubleshoot it, to make sure that no stone has been left unturned, no risk uncovered and unaddressed. That is what this time is really all about for you, and that strategy session to put that plan together. 800-640-2256, the number to call. That is 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim, it really is a very different process. It is a very different phase of our life. And there's an old saying that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting something completely different. But I think that the reverse of that, doing something completely different and then expecting the same result, might be equally as crazy. I hold my head above water in the swimming pool. I breathe no problem. If somebody says just dunk your head underneath the water and try the same thing, I might run into some issues there, right? But yet the financial industry, Wall Street, and the investment model has told us just to keep doing the exact same thing under a completely different set of circumstances. And I think that's why those first 2 are so important to address, the income and the investments.
Right. And investments, I don't think a lot of people understand what they have underlying there. They think like these target date funds.
Which, by the way, Tim, those target date funds now very common, probably the most prevalent option in many 401k accounts as well as IRAs.
Right. And you're looking at, we had a gentleman who came in the other day. He has the Vanguard 2020 fund, and it was down 15%, 14.85. All right. For 2020, that means he's been retired 3 years, correct?
Right.
So, I mean, he
something intended for theoretically somebody who's already retired losing a sixth of its value.
Right. And you're looking at, again, with the 60-40 split that everyone's been trying to do, the worst year ever was 2022 for that portfolio. So these investments, in a target date fund are not a silver bullet. They still lose money. So that's why I implore people, if you're over 59 and a half, get your money out of your 401k if you're allowed to get it into an IRA that at least you can call the shots, and we're happy to help you with that. That would have stop losses and that type of thing, and active money management instead of these target date funds that people are hoping for the best when they put their money in.
Well, again, if you would like some help and assistance, if you'd like to better understand the positions in your portfolio, if you'd like to see how your portfolio will manage to generate the income to fill the lifestyle, to create the confidence in spending into and through retirement, pick up the phone, give a call to Tim Stearns, CFP. You have the help and assistance, ladies and gentlemen, of a certified financial planning professional. You can have a one-on-one discussion, consultation, and get that protect and grow plan put together, no cost, no obligation, or you can sign up for one of the classes. Tim Stearns and the team from TJ Stearns Inc. host number of classes throughout the area, always convenient, upcoming in the near future and close to you. So find out when and where those are. You can visit the website, tjstearns.com, or just give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. So Tim, we are moving through this list of the 6 core issues that every plan must address. And already, I think that there are a lot of plans out there that have missed one of these. Maybe the most critical factor in retirement is income, and then the investments is important. But how will the plan generate the income we need to maintain and sustain and to make it through covering our expenses for the duration of however long we need to?
Well, obviously, the investments are going to throw off income, we would hope. Are they consistent? When I see some advisors have done a proposal, I'll call it an exhibition of that it's going to make 6% to even 8%. I've seen year after year. That's funny money to me. No market does that year after year. Yes, we had 13 years of a bull market, but normally there's every 7 years there's a drawback, right, where the market draws down. So you need to be careful that counting on these things that are going to throw off that amount of income, because it won't do that. If the market goes down, you'll be taking out more than you actually want to, which, leads me to another thing is, what is the number one largest vehicle we have in our lives investment wise? It's our 401ks or our IRAs after we leave the company, right? Yeah. So you're looking at something that has never been taxed. And that's my fourth bullet here, is that we have taxes coming out, so when we do a plan for people, we ask them, if you want to live on, let's say $100,000, is that net or is that gross? And a lot of times that causes confusion with the layman that we will meet with, and they'll say, what do you mean by that? I'll say, well, the government's never taxed your 401k that we turned into an IRA with us. So do you want us to withhold? And is that $100,000, actually less than that, 20% less, let's say. So we look, and that's only $84,000. Oh, I can't live on that. Well, then we need to take out more. So your number one bill in retirement will be taxes. Taxes are going to go up. I've asked every classroom that I've ever taught that question every time, and I don't care where I am, they give a thumbs up. And regardless of the party you voted for, the tax bill that we currently have is going to retire at the end of 2025. And at that point, taxes will reset, and they'll actually probably go up back to where they were.
Thumbs up, not in that's a good thing that taxes will be going up into the future.
Absolutely.
It's pretty much the expectations across the board, and Tim, current law on the books as things stand today. And you made another interesting point there. Briefly, you talked about how it's our largest asset, that 401k. I remember 20, 25 years ago, it was very common to hear, well, your home is your largest asset, or your house is your most valuable asset. And by and large, I think that was true for the better part of maybe the previous generation. But today, with the average person having saved for their whole career in their 401k, Tim, you're, I think, absolutely right. Oftentimes the 401k, the IRA can dwarf the value of our home. And by and large, yet to be taxed, tax deferred, still a tax bill to be paid. We need to account for that. We need to address and specifically plan for what that tax expense is going to be. And yet, so often, I think that conversation has been overlooked or ignored.
I don't think people, you're burying your head in the sand, right? You don't want to talk about taxes, but unfortunately we have to. So when we're doing a plan for someone, we take that into effect. We also take into effect inflation. And those are two of the biggest things that you're going to have in a plan to stay ahead of the curve as far as what your cost of living is. So we make sure that we include the tax bill that's coming out there. We also look at some opportunities if they've retired maybe this year or the next couple of years, that they're going to have the ability to do some Roth conversions under the current tax laws. You don't want to miss out on those opportunities if that's something you can get in on. Obviously, with having a CPA on staff, that makes it pretty easy for us to figure out what the tax bill is now versus what it would be if they just let it ride in the IRA or 401k that you have. We are able to generate a report that will literally give them a tax bill versus if they do a Roth conversion with us now.
So again, if you'd like to quantify the taxes that you are likely to owe and have to pay into your retirement and financial future, you need to get a handle on that figure, ladies and gentlemen. And by having a better understanding, also identifying available strategies and opportunities to control and minimize that potential cost and expense. Pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns a call. This is part of the protect and grow planning process. The strategies to control taxes. It is one of the core critical issues that every plan must address for lasting financial confidence. And you can have that as part of your plan. You can get the projections and details in writing and then understand what those strategies are to control it. 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, or go online, tjstearns.com, and just click the button, connect with us. And that's another great way to be in touch. Tim Stearns, CFP, here to help you in your planning efforts. And we are reviewing the 6 core issues that every plan must address. So Tim, investments, income, the perspective of where your advisor is coming from, and tax is a big one, of course, all too often overlooked. What's next?
Well, what's next is the second biggest bill that you'll have in retirement, and that's healthcare. Whether it be Medicare or your long-term care. A lot of people are going to need long-term care. We've talked about this. 7 out of 10 Americans over the age of 60 will need some form of that. A lot of people self-insure because 9 out of 10 of us haven't addressed it. My wife and I did by getting some life insurance policies that have chronic care in there so that we're able to take out some of that money tax-free for our care. If God forbid, we can't do 2 of our activities of daily living. Obviously with Medicare, that's another thing that is out there. The average 60-year-old couple will pay over $350,000 in retirement for the Medicare costs. So make sure that you have that under control. We tell all of our clients to come meet with us, at open enrollment in November and beginning of December to figure out which is best, because that is a moving target a lot of times. A plan that worked last year might not work this year, that type of thing. So, but I mean, healthcare is something that we definitely have our finger on that pulse because it's only getting more expensive, as we all know. And the LTC, which is long-term care, is what makes me really nervous about something that can really derail a retirement, is if one of you gets sick and you don't have the money for their care.
This is like that 800-pound gorilla in the room of financial confidence and well-being. And yet, Tim, many of us take that ostrich approach with this one and just bury our heads in the sand and leave ourselves well exposed to the potential risks and costs that are associated if we encounter that need for care.
Right. I mean, and no one wants to talk about it, but it's something that's going to come to roost. If you're not going to do it for yourselves, maybe do it for the people that would have to care for you, right? At least address it or try to address it. so that everyone knows what your wishes are and that type of thing of, what kind of care you want to get. And if you don't have the money for it, there's other ways to, skin a cat. There's annuities that have double income. If God forbid you can't do two of your activities of daily living, and that's something that we can talk about with people. But there's a lot of different ways to get out there to make sure you're taking care of that.
And you need to be proactive on that one, ladies and gentlemen. At least have those discussions and document what your wishes are. Again, Tim Stearns, certified financial planning professional, and the team at TJ Stearns Inc. can help you in formulating the plan, the Protect and Grow plan, a plan in writing that addresses all 6 of these core issues and many subcategories under each one of these, but every plan for lasting financial confidence into and through retirement must address these 6 core issues. Get your plan put together, the Protect and Grow plan, by calling 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. TJ Stearns Inc., headquartered in Arlington Heights, office conveniently located for Chicagoland area residents, but also offices across the country. By the way, the ease and convenience of meeting virtually, Zoom meetings also available, as well as the classes that are held throughout the area and throughout the year. So just find out when those are if you'd like to begin the process of planning, learn more about the risks, issues, challenges, and opportunities that we have in planning. Being proactive can certainly help you identify more of those opportunities and have a more confident outlook on retirement. Give a call. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256 to Tim Stearns CFP for that Protect and Grow plan. 800-640-2256. Tim, this last one on the list here, legacy. I hear a lot of people saying, well, I'm going to live off of my money. I'm not really all that concerned with leaving a legacy. And I don't feel as though that's any kind of selfish comment or notion whatsoever. But in reality, the likelihood is, if we have addressed all of the other core issues that you've discussed thus far in the program, that there will be a positive financial legacy left behind. And why not plan to optimize it, right?
Exactly. I mean, 4 out of 10 Americans have done their estate planning correctly. So make sure that you have your beneficiaries correct. We've had people come in here who've gone through divorces and the ex-spouse is still on there as beneficiaries. They don't have a power of attorney.
Power of attorney, very, very important, because who is entitled to step in and make decisions on your behalf to take care of financial obligations if you cannot? That is absolutely something that is important as part of the financial, Tim, the retirement and the legacy plan there.
Right. And that goes along with the healthcare directive. Do you want to be kept alive with extraordinary means? Those are the things that go into there. That's why you should do an estate plan and make sure that you have it, understood. A lot of people, I haven't done it in 5 years. The kids were younger then, you want to change things. Make sure that your wishes are known, before you pass. So a legacy, my father always joked that he wanted to bounce his last check, right? Well, my mom's been alive 10 years longer, so that would have not worked very well for my mom. So my point being is that make sure that you have everything, your ducks in a row, as they say, because, no one wants to go through probate. It's about a 2-year process before you can actually get to the estate that you are left. So legacy, we have an estate attorney on staff here that helps get through all that. We work quickly and inexpensively to do that for people. I've seen people downtown Chicago charging over $10,000 for these plans when it doesn't need to be that expensive. So don't be scared that you think there's a sticker shock coming. That it's not, but at least you can have a conversation. The first hour is free. You could have a conversation about what that looks like for your legacy. And after that, get down to brass tacks and figure out how you want to leave your estate so it's in good hands.
And that legacy, Tim, again, I think that I've heard the sentiment, well, I'm going to live off of my assets. The kids can deal with whatever's left over. Nothing wrong with that statement in any way, but I still think that a lot of people don't want to leave their children suddenly millionaires and back up a dump truck worth of cash and assets, especially those tax deferred ones, into their children's lap. Speaking of those tax deferred ones, with 2 or 3 kids, the IRS may be the largest beneficiary. Most people do not want that to be the case, nor potentially leaving your assets and life savings subject to the conditions of your children's life, right? Even if you trust their spouse, maybe not the desire to leave your assets subject to the potential of divorce or litigations or judgments or any of that. Right, Tim, that we want to take those proactive steps to protect our assets in our lifetime and beyond. And that's what the Protect and Grow plan really is aimed to help us achieve with a high level of confidence.
Well, I mean, that's exactly it. You don't want to have to hope for the best if, God forbid, something happens to you and your spouse. And by saying what your wishes are, putting it in concrete, that will be done. I mean, that's the way. You don't want to leave it to chance. And I think a lot of people right now are leaving it's a chance. 6 out of 10 Americans are, and that's just cluttering up your world, for your beneficiaries and that type of thing.
Well, it's awfully hard to plan for a stable, confident, secure retirement when the market can wipe out 20, 30, 40, 50% or more of our life savings in a single year. We've seen it happen before. It happened last year. A large chunk of our life savings, if at risk in the market, washed away, flushed without us having anything to show for it. And it does make it difficult. But Tim Stearns, through the Protect and Grow planning process, addresses these 6 core issues and can show you ways to protect your income, protect your lump sum, to maximize income, to minimize taxes and risk. Ladies and gentlemen, certainly worth the time in sitting down and getting that Protect and Grow plan put together. Available exclusively there at TJ Stearns Inc. with the help and assistance of Tim Stearns, CFP, and the planning team. Pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim, as always, we appreciate the time and the information and guidance you provide here on the program.
Peter, thanks for having me.
Tune into Chicagoland Certified Financial Planner Tim Stearns' full radio program and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.